What up, guys? I just wanted to make a quick video on KLDO. So, as you guys know, whoops, sorry about the mess. I got some new indicators I'm trying out here. So, you know, we have had, what a great run we have had. Um, whoops, let's see, I had all drawings here. What a great run this thing has had. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. With the weekly, look at that, huh? It all worked out as planned. So, you know, we're getting up into some territories here um, of potential take profit areas for sure. So, if you did enter this thing along with me, I still feel that we will end up getting up into this $15, $16 range, but I'm kind of expecting a little bit of a correction coming around the corner. Um, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I'm looking at. So this following week coming up will be a TD9 flash on the weekly. Now, this could cause some sell-off potentially, unless the thing just has so much momentum still that it continues running. As you know from these videos, I started loading up my bags right on this trend line here. I bought around 880. The next week came down to about $9. I loaded up a lot more. And this following week, it came down to about 963, and I bought a shit ton more right around here. And then when we broke out of this 1035 level, I bought even more. So, and I pretty much have just been watching this run up ever since. Um, this pattern, this pattern definitely, took off, and everything has been going as planned. So, it still is a very bullish stock, but when you run up this many damn green candles in a row, you're bound to get some type of correction. And as you see on this daily, we actually did get a red TD9 flash today. So I took some profits today around 13, I think 1350. I sold probably about three-quarters of my position, to be honest with you. I have a lot of faith in the thing still, but I don't want to be holding on to this thing if it decides to be a top right here. So as you see on the RSI, we are breaking my trend line here where I expected we would get rejected, which is an excellent sign to see that we have been breaking out of here. But it also is very, very high up on the RSI. So this could be a short-term top potentially. Was in this somewhat of a rising channel. I'm going to actually delete some of these lines real quick, and I'm going to redo these lines. So this is somewhat of a rising channel right here, and I'm going to run it off of these wicks. So we did actually get a bullish breakout of this rising channel, which is amazing. Okay. But it's possible whether, I don't know if it's going to be a fake breakout or if it's going to come back in or if it's just going to catch support on the top. But the breakout target of this was probably right where we hit just about. Measured move here. Exactly. Well, we actually did hit 1426 during a pre-market, which was pretty crazy. But it looks like $14 is definitely going to be a tough one to get above. So with this red TD9 flash, so we could expect a correction. So if we do come back down into this area, 1252 could be a pretty good area to find support if we're going to continue running up here. But if we do actually have a breakdown of this, and this was a little bit of a fake out here, then we could be looking at a breakdown. This would be the following daily. We could be looking at a potential breakdown to 1096. And if we don't break down on Monday and we break down on Tuesday, then 1128. I feel that that would still be a great buying opportunity. And I mean, I'm kind of positioning myself for another play, but I want to watch and see what's going to happen from here on out because, I don't want to get stuck losing my profits that I've been gaining. So I decided to take most of them. And if I decide to re-enter, I 100% will. Now, I don't believe it would come all the way back down here, but based off of this trend line support, we could come all the way back down into this $10 range and still be bullish. We might need to reset this RSI, whether it comes down to here, does something like that, or if it has a little bit of a, slow kind of drop down, something, I assume something will happen. If we continue up here, that's fine. We're just going to have a bigger blow off top. But, corrections are needed. You can't just go green forever. So I like to lock in some gains and expect some downside, even if it just ends up being a few bad candles, and then we create something and shoot back up again. So, I mean, if you guys are in a shit ton of profits, it might not be a bad thing to take some of those off the table, lock in some gains. Whoops. That's just kind of where I'm at on it. I wanted to hold on to this thing all the way up and just like keep on holding and holding for my $19 to $22 target up in this range. But I'm kind of feeling like I might be able to make a little better swing trade here, where I lock in those gains there, wait for a small correction, even potentially all the way down to this $10 range. If we look at the weekly, look at what we've been doing every single week. We've came down and we've retested this line, and this next week is going to be a red TD9 flash. And this next month is going to be a red TD9 flash as well. So, depending on how we end up, we might follow this trend line. We might follow this trend line all the way up. I mean, if we do this on the next month, we would come all the way back down to this level. I don't believe we would fall below back into this pattern, so I wouldn't really expect that big of a correction. But I would be perfectly fine if it came down here over the course of the next week, came back to $10. And, I would buy a shit ton if it wants to give me that. Do I think it's going to give me that? Probably not, because, it can still go up more on this weekly. We're not at this trend line yet either. And I'm kind of expecting it to come up to this trend line, whether it rolls over on the trend line or if it blasts up to this next one, which would be closer to that $19 range. Whether the correction is to 1250, $11 or $10, I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. And, if I see a play, I will let you know. So this is the 4 hour. We're getting a pink TD9 flash. We've ignored a red TD9 flash prior, which, you don't want to, when price action ignores those TD9 flashes, it ends up having a bigger correction. So we are getting a spinning top here on the 4 hour time frame as well. So that's usually an early warning sign that there's going to be a correction. It could continue up a little higher and ignore it a little bit more, hit this $14, maybe break 14.50, something like that. Or we could just get a dump down to about 12.50, ride this a little bit. Maybe, I mean, it's hard to say right now, but I just have a feeling that we're going to potentially have a correction down in this range somewhere, maybe even all the way down into this range. I would like to see it come back down to here, and then we'll continue up. But that being said, that's why I took my profits today, and then I'm just going to give it a little bit of time to do what it has to do. I mean, we do have some serious bearish divergence right here in the 4 hour. We're showing price action straight across here, and obviously you see what the price action looks like here. We got this going on here. So that is bearish divergence. So even if this price action makes its way all the way back down here and then makes a big W this way, that would be perfectly fine. And it could look something like that. And then we blast off. So, don't be alarmed if it does. And expect that there's probably going to be a pullback here. We still have a lot more gains to go, but we want to see these pullbacks. That's how everything corrects and gives you room to continue running. I don't think we'll fall back into this pattern at all, personally, and we will be lucky as all hell if we can get this price to come all the way down to this trend line here. So that's where I will probably be looking to start potentially buying anything on this trend line here. So just keep your eyes on that, and I'll try to make an update video if I see anything else changing. Like I said, we got a big sell volume here too. Like I said, we could just come down to here, this 1250, and get another run up. But if we fall out of this rising channel, then we're probably going to be coming down. Let me just do this one more time because I want to keep it in my own mind as well. We'll probably be coming down to a breakdown of, depending on where we fall, 1155, which is not too bad. 1153. I'd probably buy some more around 1153, and maybe I'll be even more patient depending on how everything looks and see if I can get it around $11. So that's what I'm watching out for. And don't be alarmed if you see this roll over, because there's a lot more upside for this thing. Just got to get a little correction. All right, that's my prediction. We'll see where it's at come next week. Maybe it'll be way up here and I'm completely off. But, the further it pushes up, the harder it'll fall when it does actually get a correction. So corrections aren't too bad. So, all right, guys. Peace.